Leave no playlist unfinished, driver. Attention, all festival goers! As you already know, Motorfest has expanded across the Hawaiian archipelago. We still have plenty of adventures to share with you, and will continue to do so for a long time. So, we clearly needed a new place. And what a wonderful place that is. Welcome to Maui. Welcome to your new playground. of the island to map out the area. Here, mountains give birth to bamboo forests and beaches are as red as the fire of a raging volcano. This island is ready to reveal its beauty, and that's what this playlist is all about. We've also put together challenges and side activities to explore every nook and cranny of the island.
going again. Let's just rewind that one. again. Make sure to get your vehicle reward, driver. Let's complete this playlist. A playlist is ready to try. Let's go try it. This season is all about luxury cars. If you've played the Ferrari playlist, you know what I mean. But it doesn't end there. The festival has invited numerous guests and brands to take part over the years. And now, the most prestigious brands are opening their doors to us. Our luxury car authority, the Archivist, has been invited by the greatest European luxury car manufacturers to discuss our common passion for beautiful vehicles and to show us the places where these jewels are formed. A grand tour of Europe that you'll be getting a taste of in this new playlist experience. Onto the container. You'll discover everything this voyage was about.
As the Motorfest archivist, I had the privilege to be invited by prestigious European car manufacturers for a special visit. This was the beginning of my European tour, and the starting point for your new car culture experience. My journey would let me spend time among the finest machines the old continent has produced. French elegance, German peak engineering.
Welcome to the Porsche Museum. First and foremost, Porsche is something you have to drive. You have to sit in, you have to feel. If you sit in the car, then you directly recognize this is a Porsche.
British craftsmanship.
Experience the bike that character, performance, detail, quality, and style.
I'll relate my journey for you, and for my archives. These are my luxury chronicles.
The voyage of our archivist. 13 events, lots of side activities and prize money to win. The Motorfest has spared no expenses on this luxury experience. Another activity awaits. The tour starts now. Our archivist has documented the whole thing, so we can share with you here in Hawaii his luxury chronicles. Each car you'll be driving in this playlist is related to our archivist journey. Get to the event tag and discover what our luxury car authority has in store for you.
My trip back to Europe would lead me first to France, with a schedule full of promise. I couldn't wait to meet the people from Bugatti, embodiment of French car luxury, and spend time with some of the most brilliant machines in the country. But my very first meeting was with an equally interesting manufacturer and a rather peculiar car. Genti Automobile and their first creation, the Accolone. My European journey was starting far from the buzzing cities, in the small village of Saint-Yor, in central France. When you get these notes, driver, you'll be driving the roads of Maui in the very cars I'm writing about, to get a proper French luxury feel without leaving Hawaii or the festival. The Accolone and Genti Automobile was such an interesting starting point for my tour. A newcomer to the French luxury car market, and their very first machine. This was very exciting. I got to learn everything I needed to know about this car. A car born from the passion of a creator who dreamed of building his own luxury hypercar with 4-figure horsepower and an unparalleled power-to-weight ratio from scratch. By the time you, driver, get my notes, the result should be in your hands. excellence, rarity, and soul. The Accolone by Genty Automobile.
How was this luxury ride for an introduction? For the next event of this playlist, we're going deeper into the French luxury car market. Get ready to hear everything about our Archivist's second stop.
Despite its rare and premium nature, luxury cars can take many forms and come from many places. Of course, they often come from well-established luxury manufacturers, and I was about to see a lot of these on my journey. But my visit at Genty has shown us that a luxury car can bloom from the vision and passion of a single person. And today, my second stop in France has shown that luxury cars can also come from manufacturers that usually keep their distance from the luxury world. This stop was about a French everyday car manufacturer, Citroën, and their famous Citroën GT. The GT is a car which, according to its main engineer in 2008, was meant to be the supercar of 2025, the same year as this European trip. Talk about apropos. This car was originally made for a video game, but it had such an impact that they decided to make it a reality. At the time, the possibility of having the GT be mass-produced was real. But in the end, the incredible vehicle would remain a concept car for the world to admire and a very privileged few to drive. With the Echelon and this Citroën GT, my tour was off to a great start. And it was only the beginning.
Things are getting serious. You're now about to focus on the most luxurious of French luxury car brands. No need to think twice. You've already guessed it. Our next event, Bugatti, now and then.
At last, it was finally time for me to make a stop in Mulsanne, home of the French luxury car brand par excellence, Bugatti. There is absolutely no way I could have skipped this more than 110-year-old institution. My enthusiasm was vindicated as I got to spend some time with the legendary machine that is the 1936 Type 57 SC Atlantic, designed by Jean Bugatti, one of the most beautiful Bugattis ever made. A car that embodies Bugatti's pioneering spirit and passion for perfection. What a pleasure it was to take this venerable machine through the picturesque countryside roads of France. Four units of this car were made at the time, including a single all-black version that John Bugatti kept for himself. Unfortunately, its whereabouts are a long-standing mystery, as that particular vehicle disappeared during World War II. Or did she? To be honest, this special moment with Bugatti was one of the highlights of my European tour, especially when you know which car they're going to bring next. voiture noire, a direct tribute to that all-black Type 57 SC I just mentioned. One of the most beautiful and most expensive cars in the world. Exclusivity, artistry, performance, and luxury. A car that is undoubtedly a worthy successor to Jean Bugatti's personal masterpiece. I'm pretty sure the man would have loved to see this. Anyway, for me, this was the perfect end to a perfect day. To you festival goers, I hope you'll enjoy driving these as much as I did admiring them in their native land.
The Luxury Chronicles continue. We're staying with Bugatti for one last French spin with a luxurious yet very intimidating car.
Day 4 of my glorious French sojourn. I was staying at Bugatti's for another day, and as the icing on the cake, Bugatti served me one last exclusive piece of art on a plate. The Bugatti Vision GT. Another car originally designed for the video game industry that made it to the real world. For my pleasure. And yours. If you're currently driving this car, and I believe you are, be cautious. This car may be a jewel. Once awakened, she becomes a beast. With that, my time with Bugatti and the French section of my tour were coming to an end. My next destination, Germany.
This was a dive into French car haute couture. You're now entering the second part of this luxury vehicle experience, still narrated by our archivist. So next stop, Germany. A very special German car has been prepared for you.
After a marvelous French introduction, I was now flying to Germany to pursue my work on the European luxury brands. I was expecting great things from the upcoming meetings. This leg of the journey was a promising one, as I was about to meet my esteemed counterpart at Porsche.
My name is Frank Jung, and I'm responsible here at AG for the corporate archive and the car collection. The archive is kind of the memory of the brand, the memory of Porsche. In between the 80 cars we're showing here, the Carrera GT is one of the top stars. Top sports car of its time, a high-performance machine. And it's mainly made by hand.
My luxury chronicles were really shaping up, with one incredible encounter after another. And now, I was about to see Porsche as never before, with a special focus on the Porsche Carrera GT. Talking about German luxury cars without talking about Porsche would be nonsense. It is one of the names that belongs in the pantheon of luxury car culture. Guided by my fellow archivist from Stuttgart, I was being honored with an insider tour of their museum, from which I was getting priceless notes and pictures for my archives and for Motorfest. Among all the jewels that surrounded us, the Carrera GT took a special place in our day. A car born from a streak of Porsche victories, made to compete with the greatest. Top sports car in the 2000s. Dare I say, one of the top sports cars of all time. What a day, and what a car. I couldn't have dreamed of a better way to start my trip in Germany.
Hard to beat Porsche when it comes to German luxury cars. But don't worry, our archivist and the Motorfest organizers have got you covered. You'll see. Luxury Chronicles Europe, Germany, second stop, Apollo Automobile.
My Germany tour is officially on. After an incredible first stop in Stuttgart, I had the distinct pleasure of spending a day with Apollo Automobile and an absolute marvel of a car, the Apollo Project Evo. This car, which is still under development as I write these lines, is definitely one of the boldest and most aggressive-looking cars I've seen in my long career. The active aerodynamics, the fins, that rear spoiler, and X-Light signature, everything in this car's design screams, "You're getting eaten alive." And this interior. You really have to see it to believe it. Nothing short of a superhero car.
Remix!
There's only one existing prototype at the moment. The one I just got the chance to discover. Note to self. I really must convince Apollo to lend this car to Motorfest for our upcoming luxury cars playlist. Luxury is elegance, fine materials, and high-precision craftsmanship. But it is also the freedom to embrace a hardline approach and go all the way.
After Porsche and Apollo, our archivist was only halfway through his European journey. In the next event, we'll hear what he had to say about his seventh stop, a day at Audi, with a focus on a luxury racing car. Get ready to step in the world of gentleman drivers.
trip was getting me to dig even deeper into German car culture. The people from Audi were now expecting me in the beautiful town of Ingolstadt in Bavaria. The car that they had prepared for me, and the one you, driver, should be driving when you get these notes, was a great surprise and a great addition to our luxury vehicle experience. The 2020 Audi R8 LMS GT2. A true racing car, as it was built for a very specific Grand Touring competition, the GT2 European Series. Yet also a true luxury car, as the GT2 event is in fact a particular championship designed for amateur pay drivers, a racing category for what we call the gentleman drivers. A category in which this Audi R8 is queen. R8 LMS GT2, a car that was first introduced at Goodwood's Festival of Speed. One might wonder why.
Welcome back. For the next event of our Luxury Chronicles playlist, the Archivist relates his stop at Mercedes, and you'll get to drive yet another extremely powerful car. Looks like luxury often goes together with mean performance in Germany.
My last day in Germany led me to Mercedes for yet another thrilling ride. My ultimate appointment in this country was set with the breathtaking Mercedes AMG 1. The one and only, as Mercedes would say.
Time.
Like all the German machines I had the pleasure to admire over the course of my trip, the Mercedes AMG 1 was indubitably on the powerful side. That's an understatement, as the One was built from the dream of bringing Formula One technology to the road. A dream that was meant to come true. Everything in this car screams Formula One. Powertrain, materials, interior. And I believe world champion Lewis Hamilton himself helped Mercedes in the development of this car. To the driver who'll get behind the wheel of this machine in the festival, you're probably not ready. trip was ending wonderfully with this Mercedes AMG 1, I was content and ready to move on to the last part of my trip.
The tour continues. After France and Germany, we'll now be focusing on British vehicles. In his notes, the archivist is telling us everything about his great first stop, a day at Triumph. That's correct. Our British luxury culture section starts with motorcycles. You are. You're going for a nice and chill ride. Pay attention, find your way, reach the destination.
After a roller coaster of a trip through France and Germany, my luxury car pilgrimage was bringing me back to my home. My first encounter alone was enough to justify the trip, as I was about to meet yet another fascinating individual.
My name's Stuart Wood. I'm Chief Engineer at Triumph. We're in the Triumph Factory Visitor Experience here in Hinckley. It's a great display of motorbikes. If I had to pick just one bike, it's going to have to be the Rocket 3. It's got high performance, very high capability, high specification, really stunning looks. It really is phenomenal.
A delightful meeting that would be followed by other great surprises from my homeland. My European journey was slowly coming to an end. Yet I still had so much to see to complete my luxury chronicles. Starting with a keenly anticipated stop in Hinckley.
We pay a lot of attention to the detail and how well the bike works.
And a special rendezvous with the Triumph Rocket 3R. Cloudy grey skies and damp asphalt. I was back home, no doubt. And I couldn't be happier. I had a whole day with Triumph ahead of me, surrounded by passionate people to guide me through their motorcycle universe. Stuart Wood, concept engineer, had shared with me everything you could ever want to know about Triumph. Their 100 years of existence, the attention to detail, the perfect combination of performance and visual design. Fascinating. This Rocket 3. Big and powerful, with a remarkable 2.5-liter engine, but still easy to ride. An extreme motorcycle with a huge presence. A Triumph bike through and through. British craftsmanship and style, the passion of a whole biker community. This was shaping up to be another highlight of this European trip. All I could do is enjoy the moment. Raw performance has never looked as good as it does on a Triumph. I believe that's what they call character.
Our luxury car exhibition moves forward with another iconic British manufacturer. The car we'll be focusing on in this event is again special in many ways. Get to the event tag and you'll see Europe has still plenty in store to surprise you.